Hi guys, this is Allison from AllyKat Creations. How are you? Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you have yet to do so. And if you get anything from my work, a connect dot an epiphany, a mind explosion, a new book to read, a new author to explore, please consider supporting my work. All the links are at the bottom of the description after this live is over. AllyKat Creations211 is my portfolio, my website. Check to see all the fun things that are going on. I got hyper realistic drawings that I do, portraits of people, animals, houses, fun stuff there. Candles, even though this one is like not lighting. I have candles. I do all the pyramids behind me. I make them. They're not from some 3D printer. So go check that out. And if you're interested in anything, please email me. And I'll get back to you. I do commerce privately. And then I have 3 and 4D memberships, 2 tiers. It's worth it if you are needing oracle readings. I do them 4 times a month, and all memberships get the oracle card readings. You get emojis, you get raffles when I do them. You get an entry for 3D1 and 4D2 raffle entries for free. You don't even have to pay. And you could win some phenomenal things that I do put out when I'm doing them. And 4D gets special behind the scenes access to things that I am working on. I'm currently wrecking my brain about the next big venture of doing the verbiage of quantum mechanics with spirituality. So I am working and I am actually getting more and more stuff. So I'm kind of calming it, like kind of taming things in, reining them in, and I'm praying that very soon things get out. So please check me out on those avenues. Hi, Ashmaya. Hi, Ivy. Thank you. So I actually had hair. Um, I do want to thank all my staff, co-workers, staff members that I work with for entertaining my pity party. I was gonna say pity potty party. We say that in my classroom once in a while when a kid is having a tantrum about going to the potty. But yeah, thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. I actually am trying to get back into being fit. And not that I'm not fit, but I need the walk is helping me clear out some of the things in my brain that's been transpiring in the last couple of months. And I'm just like as I'm walking, it's just cold and you know, it's like 16 degrees here. I don't mind it. I actually enjoy the winter. So, you know, the only thing that gets unsafe is obviously we don't have sidewalks here in Indiana, not ones that are shoveled. So I'm pretty much walking in the street very carefully or in the snow. I'm okay with that. It's extra burn on my tushy, but I do thank everybody. If you know, and of course, I'm going to take somebody up if I really need it. What I really need is coffee creamer eventually. Um, I'm not having coffee tonight just to keep the week's worth of going to work. I need coffee in the morning. I have coffee. I don't have the creamer. I have one little container left, so I'm gonna sparingly using it. Um, yeah, I yeah. So the so I spoke to a friend in New York who works on cars and said it's probably a battery and that I need a kill switch. I'm not sure how much my paycheck is going to be. I do get paid on Friday, but if it was anything like the last month that I got the last paycheck, that was not enough to pay my bills, and I use most of the YouTube money, and I'm not getting paid from YouTube next month either. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'll get paid in January. But I got the YouTube money, and that went right to the homeowner's insurance. And I just was able to clear my um gas and electric. This incoming bill is probably gonna get the credit cards finished, and then I'm back to like near zero. So it is what it is. I'm not freaking out. We got some notes here, guys. Allison got notes. We're going to note it up today. I am now observing the reality where my business is making six figures. I'm observing the reality where my YouTube channel has 100K subscribers and 300 members. I am now observing the reality where my husband arrives in my life. I'm declaring it to be so. Hi, El Sunray. I'm arriving at the frequency of sacred unconditional partnership. I'm arriving at a reality of absolute financial sovereignty. I am calibrating my energy into a new dichotomy and a new paradigm. And I'm not freaking out like the old self. So that would just say that I have leaped into a new timeline. I am recalibrating. I am noticing a lot of this. Like I am being tugged back into the old self. I'm feeling it. I'm cognizant of it. I really am. But my reactions this time have changed, and I don't feel the impending doom, even though that does arise, and it's human, it's normal. Um, but I can only do what I can, and I do want to thank Miss Ash and her hubby. I came home today after my brisk little walk. It's not that long, I promise. And I saw this big box on my front steps. And when I opened it up, like tears, humbled, gratitude, tears flowed out of my eyes like a nut. And I want to thank them outright for sending me not just cat food and stuff for Freya and Little Thor, but for myself. So really thank you so much for that, you two. Um, like I put out in the post, I do have an Amazon wish list. Little Thor and Freya's food is, I mean, it was on sale on Amazon, and I'm looking at my bank account and saying I can't swing this. And for the next until maybe the middle of February, like I have a 2 week break in December. So I'm not getting paid. And that is a lot of money that I don't know where that's coming from, but I am not worrying about it. I am going to arrive at the frequency of financial sovereignty. But until then, like I'm in this in between, and reality is what it is. I'm not faking it. I'm not getting upset about it, but I have to put action into motion to help myself. And I figure because I have most of the subscribers on this channel is from Little Thor and Freya videos. I'm like, well, if I put this out on the community tab and I put this out as a call of help, there are so many people that would contribute something so that Little Thor and Freya for the next few months have food. So I really want to thank everybody who has contributed or bought something for those two. I really appreciate it because I want them to be well, and I want to be able to take care of both of them without worrying. Um I have taken out a credit care vet, like, credit card for Odin because I had no idea what if he did live and survive, how much the medications and stuff for him. That was almost about the same time last year that he was getting really sick. And I really was like, how do I come up with this money? Oh my God. And I'm very thankful for everybody that helped out with his funeral. And it's the same thing here. Like if something happened, I would be able to take them to the vet because I didn't put anything on that card. But like I said, I am at the collapse of all of it. The whole old self, the collapse of the old story is shot. And now I'm just calibrating and getting my frequency adjusted for what is next. And it's this in between, be patient period that spirit keeps telling you to be patient. Okay, but patience doesn't pay the bills. Patience doesn't put food on the table. So I do thank everybody that is contributing to that because my goodness, we're not going back to 97 pounds. I already put that into the ether. I am not going back to 97 pounds. I need to lose a little bit of weight. Not like I'm getting my muscle tone back. I'm walking. I got heavy book bag on me, and I need to get some movement in. So thank you, everybody. Life is weird. Life is weird. Energies are weird. Um, Energies are very weird, to say the least. I'm getting a lot of downloads, uploads, downloads. The geo field today, I don't see this. I never show you guys this chart because it's not one that I really focus on. But these waves are really, really funky. I do believe, and it's not all of us. I'm just gonna put this caveat out there. When I'm taught, like my teacher and my parent that I work with, I've been really like instilling these new, I don't necessarily think they're affirmations as much as declaring that you are observing the reality in which the stuff that's obtainable, right? I don't think it's unacceptable for me to say that eventually my artwork, my content will get me to a six-figure income. I actually believe I can do that. In some of my bigger paintings and some of my bigger work, I absolutely know that I can get to that point in my career as an artist, right? Financial sovereignty just means that I just want to be content. I don't need $1 million to be happy. I just want to be able to not have to worry going to the store that I can't afford something or that I can't get the necessary parts to fix a car or to get a new phone. Like these are necessity, and I hate to say that because I'm not materialistic, but like in order to run your life in a third dimensional realm, there's certain necessities. Of course, if you don't have them, you navigate around it. I've been doing that. But having a car out here is essential. You really can't go too many places. There's really no transportation. So it's not like New York City where I can walk to the main road and get on a bus and then go throughout the island to go to shopping or whatever. There is no such thing. Uber and Lyft are super expensive. I live close to Gary. I don't know about car service and if I trust it. Once again, I am female and there's a lot of trafficking in my area still. They're kiboshing a lot of it, but I don't want to be a part of that escapade. So I got to be very careful with what I do. Charlene, you're so cute. Charlene, I have a question for you since you're saying that. Do you feel more masculine or feminine in your energy? See, this is where like me, my Ariesness, I is a masculine sign, and I exude more of my masculine traits as a female out of survival, out of having to survive, and you have to, hey Curtis, having to do everything for yourself is more of a masculine trait instead of having the man, do the masculine thing. And listen, ladies, if you're feminine, I'm not knocking you. I'm not the damsel in distress. I can fix and do most things for myself unless I just physically don't have the strength for it or the arthritis is kicking in. Hey Scott, I pointed out earlier to the girls that I work with, they're interested. So they're not like ignoring me. They just don't understand a lot of the spiritual lingo, but we're still gritting and we're releasing from my Charlene, you're the best. We're releasing midway level energy right now. So you're still purging. I'm purging. Um, it's the old economy. It's the old story. It's the old stuff, but it might not hit you guys just yet. Some of you it's hitting now. I'm being hit with the new dichotomy, new paradigm, new shifting reality now. Right now. It's hitting now. And why I'm saying I'm hitting this and it might not be for you just yet is because you still have contracts to play out. The two past relationships I was in, I'm not showing it so much, but I am truly like heartbroken because I really had faith and actual pure feeling for Marine, but he has to heal and do some things for himself in order to be and show up differently or better for the next person that walks into his life. And again, I don't wish him any ill will or any of that stuff because I do still care about him and I wish him the best. I just can't go on this roller coaster anymore. Where frequencies are a 7.86 and the electromagnetic field is a little wonky, but nothing nuts. So when I woke up I already described this last Friday, but arriving emotionally in calmness when I should be freaking the F out that my car's not starting. How am I going to do this? That I didn't even have those worries. I mean, yeah, sure, they sit there in the surface level, like, okay, I could walk to the store, like to the gas station. The supermarket is a little too far away. Getting a car battery. Am I worried about it too much? Not necessarily. I'll get to the store at some point. I'll find a ride and hitch somebody up for that. But in the meantime, it's not renting space in my brain as I thought it would, which is a sign that I'm recalibrating to a new reality. And when you are arriving, it's giving the intention of your words and the energy that is being emitted into your field, the motion to have the cause and effect. So you saying I'm arriving means you're in motion into getting the things that you are desiring, you want, you're dreaming of, you're manifesting, you're collapsing the wave function for it to land in your material world. I'm like both. You see, I wear makeup and be cute, but then I have the masculine side of me too. Like I look like I was going to axe murder somebody at school because I had a bib on, like the snow pants, and snow boots. Like I look like I didn't look cute. I look masculine, but I don't care. I hope so, Curtis. I'm sending you so much healing. And I think a lot of, well, Ivy, at the core essence of your soul, you are androgynous. You're both aspects. Um, we're sending you some healing love, Curtis. And what I was going to say about the health, I want you and anybody here to start saying, I am now observing myself healed as if it already happened. Past tense, healed. I'm observing the reality where I am healed. Can we do that? I'm arriving at the reality that after your surgery, Curtis, you are healed. Um, I like the it's not International Delight. It might be. It's caramel macchiato. I don't know if the I have it upstairs. I just finished it today. Um, it's caramel macchiato, the creamer. I forgot what brand has it. I can look it up. Yeah, Kurt, I mean, we're not like, so depending on the gender of like what you came out as is what you chose. The soul's overgrowth, the growth that your soul needs to mature into, which is still going to be a little off even now in 4D, is you're still going to exemplify your authentic self. And if that authentic self happens to be more masculine than feminine, it's going to be authentic to your frequency. Frequency doesn't lie. And yeah, we need to balance and be flowing in the range, but that's not always going to be in every instant because in every moment, if I had to go outside and change a tire, I'm being, and I hate the societal standards and labels that we place things on, but there's certain things that are more manly masculine to do than feminine. But there's femmes out there that are building houses. It's labels. So I'm arriving because you're putting that intention into motion, not just saying, I am love. I am gratitude. I am gratitude. I am thankful. Of course, you already are, right? You already are those things. And if you need more of those affirmations, use them. But this, I am arriving, it's because your future self is sending you the signal, the wavelength, to magnetically attract your field to. So when you are making this willed intention in this body and saying, I am arriving at a reality, it's you are in the superposition, meaning you have a ton of timelines you could choose from. The one that you are super wealthy, the one that you are super poor, the one that you're just making it by, the story that you're living out now, and everything else in between. Choose the one that you know that your goals can be absolutely obtained. Meaning you, for me, I feel the reality of absolute frequency of financial sovereignty. I feel it. I don't want to live in the lack anymore. And what ties you to the lack is, yeah, like this is what the videos that I've been watching have not told you. What do you do in the in between, in the void, where you are emerging into the butterfly? There is an in between, and if you're not being taken care of, it's easy to get back into the lack because that's where you're at. It's a reality that you have to put into motion, that you are in that state. Okay, now how do we get out of that state? I'm arriving at the reality of absolute financial sovereignty. I am arriving at the frequency of sacred unconditional partnership. See, this is what happens when I don't have caught like an infinite supply of creamer. Calibrating energy is refinement. We're being refined right now. And everything that we've gone through up until this point in your lives has refined your soul. It really has. You're calibrating. The arrow was let loose because you're finally at the state. Like I was telling Ivy privately, but I'm going to share this because it has nothing to do with her. But I feel I started shifting when I declared I am done. I'm over it. And I've said it many, 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 many times. But this time, especially 2 weeks ago or a week ago today, me saying I am done and crying over it and letting it out really folded that reality. And then everything collapsed. It started before that. It started with the character assassination. It started with people falling away out of my life, being accused of things I never did, and people really butchering and slaughtering my name. Does it really bother me? No. But like it hurt because it's from people that should know better and people that claim one thing and then do the opposite. So it's a hypocritical energy. I don't think a lot of people even know that they're doing it, or they do and they just don't know. For they know not. So I'm not here to sit there and judge them. I hope and wish everybody the best. But at some point, when you don't know a full story and you're being accused of stuff that's really serious and very heartbreaking, that's when I started seeing that I'm no longer a vibrational fit for the reality that everybody else around me is living. You might all be feeling something similar, and it could be in different aspects of your life. You're outgrowing your paradigm, you're outgrowing your reality, the old one. You're like, I'm done with this, I'm done with that, I'm over this, and I'm over that. And you really are like, soul boundaries are now hitting you. It's not just ego and self, this person, it's your soul saying, no more, done, bye. Bye, Felicia. Be over there. So we are refining right now. We're recalibrating to a new frequency, some of us. And if you're here, then you also are on the same wavelength as myself, which congratulations, that's pretty damn high. And not to be egotistical on that point, but that's true. We're here. I know I'm here. You guys are here because we've journeyed and experienced enough. Our souls decided to stay and stick together because we know the mission is even greater and bigger. And that's how we're going to walk forward together in unity. We can't do it by ourselves anymore. The lone wolf, rest in peace, James Rank, is no longer going to be the lone wolf. Yes, you're going to do the work by yourself. I can't do your work for you. I can help steer you in that direction. But a lot of us are outgrowing the hate, the shame, the blame, and hearing it constantly. Where your attention and focus goes is what is created. So if you keep focusing on hate and these people suck and this thing is the blame of everything in the world's problems, we're going to perpetuate that energy from continuing. And I think at this juncture in time, more and more people are starting to see that facade, that illusion. We were all wrapped up, some of us, in politics that we lost sight on doing the work within, because your world changes from in here, not outside of you. Sure, we collectively all together now created this movie that we're watching play out in the scenes outside of you. We created all of this to ask, what do we prefer over what we don't? And we all prefer different things. We all want different things. But at the crux of it all, we all want prosperity, peace, and harmony. I don't think there's anybody that can disagree with that statement. How do we get there? What does that look like? It's starting from within. It's understanding what you actually are. And that you have already lived this life already. It's over there in another reality you can't see or perceive. And that higher aspect of you is sending cookies. It's sending synchronicities. It's sending angel numbers. It's sending things for you to show you. It's not, your angels are you. This is what a lot of people get disassociated with. This is my opinion. This is my depiction. But I want you to resonate with this in some aspect. If we're all one, we're all from source, God, the infinite one, the all that is, then nothing is outside of you. The other selves, the other you individuated, all the other selves living other realms and the higher densities, they're all aspects of your soul. They're fractals, just like you have a fractal of God within, the spark of God within you. You have fractals of other components of all the energies that run this world in wavelengths. So this lifetime, I chose the artist. I chose the starseed. I chose this and I chose that. And I put this alchemical soup together to put into this vehicle to express outside. But each and every one of you are aspects of myself, and I am an aspect of you, playing individually. So technically, your celestials, the rishis, the Daihan Kohans, ascended masters, aliens, the whole like, are aspects of you. So the angel paradigm, you are angel, you are the angel, I am the archangel. You got to claim it, embody it, and know it for yourself. But that other self that already has and lived what you want is what we're trying to obtain. That self is sending healing ripples through time space, and that ripple is hitting you at this moment in time. That's what we're seeing in the Schumann resonance. We're seeing mergers of time collapsing on itself from higher densities. So you're here, we're this flat plane. Time is folding back on itself and it's merging with the other self. Charlene, yes. You know what time it is. Chicken! Buck buck! Chicken, chicken, chicken! Chicken buck buck. Had to get a chicken in early, didn't I? Chicken, 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 chicken. That's why I'm able to say I am an angel. And the angels are not on the highest, they're not on the highest echelon of things that embody you. There's higher and higher and higher. Angels are really closer to human frequency than one would think. They're not in the lowest density, but they're not in the highest. They're not 9, 10th, 11, 12. There's all different aspects of angels too. But our higher selves, our light bodies, are fractals of angels. And we all have components of, some of us are earth angels, some of us are archangels, some of us are actual angels. There's healing angels, there's running angels, there's all types of angels. It's not, we only go based on what we know, knowledge based on books. Scrap that shit. If Blavatsky tells you and teaches you anything, scrap the shit. Be good, Ivy. You're a good girl. And I'm praying for you. Ivy's going through a similar dichotomy of change and a lot of stress. A lot of stress. But we have to also say in our convictions, when we are feeling calm within the storm, when things are happening to us that we don't prefer, like I didn't prefer my car to drop dead, I didn't prefer my relationship end. I was hoping that if someone said I loved you, we were going to work on things, not to just be cut off and gone. That really is devastating. So that really truly means the love wasn't really there on one end. That stuff just eats me up. And then I'm not, I don't want him to be made out to be a horrible person because he absolutely is not. I think there's a lot of unresolved trauma and hidden unconscious fears that a lot of people struggle with. And it's like a loop. You get stuck in I'm going to talk about the loop. You get stuck in the loop and it's hard to detach from emotion. Because that's all, as a human, you're experiencing is emotional states and that stuff. But from one of the video, like, look at this, 2 pages. I am going to do a craft. I don't know if it's a craft more than it is a drawing. I see that I was looking for these and they were right in my face. So thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. For my walking, when I am walking, I'm doing the breaths. I'm doing the Curtis book walking meditation. I am doing that a little differently, but new reality, the observer. The science behind this is grounded in the principles of energetic feedback. The observer effect. A karmic loop stripped of all its mystical baggage is a self-reinforcing quantum state. So why we all keep saying The moon has a machine and you're getting sucked back into the loop. No, you're not. There was never a machine. And if you think there was, cool, that's a reality you belong to. That's not mine. I don't believe in that moon machine. Do I believe the moon is real as a moon? Not necessarily. Hi, I'm one of those. But I don't necessarily think there was something keeping us stuck here. We needed to get stuck because we needed to eventually see the loop to learn about it and to get the hell out of the loop. Karmic loops. So your contract, your soul contract, doesn't necessarily have you looping. This life has been different besides the other past selves in terms of our linear time that we can perceive. You keep looping the same learnings and teachings, but in higher density capacity until you really learned in its totality the lesson. That repeat of all the other selves and all the other lives that are in existence that is looping is because you needed to see the clear learning, and now we have the capacity to do so. We're seeing the loop, we're recognizing the loop, and now we're figuring out how to escape, aka the matrix, aka the loop. It's not a machine that holds you back. It's not anything other than yourself needing reassurance you learned it fully. Fully. And each time you shift up into a timeline, you still are going to get challenges and catalysts. They're going to be on a higher scale of difficulty to clear. And being my last life, this is the most difficult clearing and learning I put in my path so that I don't have to come back. And it's not to say that you choose to come back. When you transcend, you're like, well, I have kids and I have this, and you have the attachments that you're tethered to through the other people in your lives. Now, some people choose not to come back and be the guide upstairs to come down and give little nudges and little inspirations in the head and get people back on track. There is no right or wrong track, by the way, but either it's a slower track or a faster track. That's the only difference. Slow and fast. Curtis, we are in a video game per se. We're not necessarily. I'm starting to think more on the holographic than the simulated. But I do believe 3D to a lot of its extent is 3D in the simulated holographic matrix. 4D, I'm starting to observe more of a holographic universe than a simulated one. I think 3D was absolutely simulated, and I think we're getting out of that and shifting more into a holographic, but holographic was in 3D. Getting off track, but so the stripping of all its mystical baggage is a self-reinforcing quantum state. It's a closed circuit energy and consciousness. So your energy circuit keeps doing this. You transcend, you come down, and your veil is there. You forget when you're upstairs, you orchestrated this whole bizarre life that you are leading now. You chose it and you forgot who, what, where, when, and why. You're just in the state of acknowledging that you are human, that you have a family, and that you have to survive. That's it. And then eventually you start recognizing things. And now is a time, the great remembering is the great awakening. You are remembering, you are putting a stop to the loop. You're seeing your wrongs and correcting them. You're purging out energy that probably doesn't even belong to this vehicle. It belongs to other soul selves. Yeah, I believe in 3D. There was a simulated holographic in nature. Simulated though. There was more of the, and why I say simulated is the narratives, the program, the looping, the program, the narratives, the attention-seeking shit, the loop. That's why I believe it is simulated in 3D with a holographic nature. 4D, I believe, is purely holographic. 5D, we're going into more of a higher quantum state, and I don't know if there's a word for that or a term for that just yet. We're not there yet. But if we're talking science and we're talking physics, I read all the articles all the time. Things are going bananas. So when you feel the loop, you're acknowledging the loop, the pattern, whatever the pattern is. Obsolete code, obsolete data, data from a dead past, signal from a deleted timeline. Stop acknowledging obsolete. Half the time I'm running down in my walk and I'm just looping, cycling in my brain like, oh, if I would have said this, no, obsolete timeline, obsolete data. Here, cancel, delete. Not because I don't want to deal with the past or reconcile with it or any of those things. I'm not 100% I am not perfect. I also make mistakes. All of us do. But you got to have people and surroundings that are going to work with you, not out of malice, out of hate, out of anger, but out of acceptance that, well, they knew not. And we're going to be compassionate with how we're going to steer that error in the dichotomy and change how we handle each other. If we came out and there was a disagreement or an argument, instead of feeling angry and wondering, okay, take a deep breath. How could we solve this? Get your words out, but do it in a way that is not necessarily emotionally tying you to and looping you in the karma. Yes, El Sunray. So the belief, wait. So a thought creates an emotion. That emotion fuels a belief. That belief dictates your observation. So you are observing your reality. You are the observer. Therefore, you create your reality. That belief dictates your observation, and your observation collapses the quantum field into a reality that then proves the original thought was right. This is vital. A thought creates an emotion. I love Freya. I love Freya. That emotion is energy and consciousness. That belief dictates your observation of your belief. It fuels it. That observation collapses in the quantum field. So you're picking from the superposition, the many varieties of things. And if you're, I love Freya, more of that love is attracted back into your field and collapses. And it proves your original thought. So if I continue to, I mean, and I'm being realistic because I am authentic, to say, well, I need help, and it's not just a one and done, I need opportunities. I am now observing opportunities landing in my lap now. I am now observing, see how I'm using that now? Does that make sense? That now my rational thinking, a thought creates an emotion. Instead of saying, I need help, and that lag, uh, feeling collapses the original thought. So it's collapsing that loop. That, is it really going to happen? That's when the ego and the doubt comes in. Like, is people going to help me? Are these things going to happen? I'm doubting myself. Well, we don't want that because if you are observing it, it's going to collapse that way. This is where the soul started giving you boundaries, maybe by like for me, last year was my boundary point. Last year, my soul dictated boundaries. 2 years ago, my soul started in with divine neutrality. Hey, Allison, you got to look at things a little differently now. Guess what? If all is source, make it make sense. There is really, yes, there's good and evil, but you go beyond it because you're both in nature. So you're denying a part of yourself if you don't own it. Now you have to neutralize both aspects and come into an equilibrium and harmony with both. And of course, you're going to feed your light more than your dark, but you still have to give your dark some attention. And that's the healing, that's the shadow, that's the ego, that's the and unconscious mind that is legitimately running your world without your awareness. So you arriving at the fact that, yeah, we are manifesting and we have to feel it, but you have to feel it from a consensus of not doubt. You can't, when people do affirmations and the I am, if you don't believe the I am, then you're not until you feel it. It's not just about seeing it, because sometimes our brain does give us some fanciful shit that's not realistic. Look, there are people that can manifest a Maserati and the $1 billion house. I don't, that's not something I want particularly for myself. I'm not materialistic like that. I don't need all the gadgets and the gizmos. I just need practical things that work, right? Like nice things that last a long time that work. That's all I like and ask for. When you get the cheap shit, it doesn't last long. I'm not saying everything is that way, but in technology wise, like my phone has managed to stay alive for the last 8 years. That's a long time for a cell phone to last. My laptop upstairs is just about 10 years old. Actually, no, I lie. 8. Exactly, Curtis. So we want to be rich in these experiences. So the we got to talk in terms that we are not doubting ourselves, that we are arriving. That doesn't mean we landed it yet. That means we are in motion of getting. We're observing, because now you have to observe the motion of the arrow landing at your destination. You have to put the energy and momentum forward for it to collapse, meaning manifest, meaning come into materiality. And that is where we can't have expectations. So let's just ponder the fact that maybe there might be a person that comes in and knocks on or emails me and says, "Hey, Allie, I love what you're doing with your channel. Do you want to do some podcasts with me? Hey, Allie, I love your work. I would love to show it in my art gallery. Hey, Allie, yeah, we can fix your voice. You would be perfect doing audiobooks. We can fix your errors. We can manipulate that somehow with AI. Why don't you do this?" Do you see where the brain now isn't stuck in, okay, how is this going to happen and how it could happen? And the many ways of speaking it out into the field for it to collapse, as I am observing. Hey, Allie, so these are the dreams and all the things that I want to aspire to do. I want to be able to write a book. I want to be able to make content where I'm doing courses to helping people, but not the way other people are doing it. I want to continue reading books. I want to continue doing this. This is my highest excitement. If Bashar would say it the best. This is what I love doing. I'm motivated to do it. I look forward to doing it. I love working with the kids, but in the 3D sense, it does not fill my bills. It does not pay the bills. It pays some, not all. I need something to is completely going to give me financial sovereignty. So now I have to put into the what is realistic, not having expectations on how it's going to get delivered and what the universe is going to do for me for it. Right. But that's where we need to get out of the doubt brain, that energy that loops of our doubts, our ego talking back. Because the ego wants you to be safe. That's its role. And because everything in the future moving forward, like that's why a lot of the people like me who have abilities cannot see for myself into the future, because I'd be maybe not picking the best and highest my soul wants for me. So like any quantum state, it has a vibrational threshold. It requires a certain environment of energy to sustain itself. You have crossed that threshold. And that was me utterly saying, "I'm done." And I emotionally felt it. I got to my collapse point, my breaking point. I jumped off the ledge and I said, "Fuck this." Fool's journey. I was done. The karmic loop is a circuit, a self-sustaining energetic circuit. It operates on a predictable, immutable law. The fundamental law is this: reality is not fixed. The universe is a field of potential. Physicists call superposition, as I was describing earlier. All exists until you observe it. It's fluid. And it's waiting for you. You need to dissolve the karmic loop. I love the scribbles. We do Scribble Spot. It's a little different from the Scribble. But the Scribble Spot, we teach the kids their emotions. It is so cute. And then I have the kids make scribbles. And then I have googly eyes we put on the scribbles. It's really cute. And a lot of them are super adorable. So you fundamentally change the observer. The evidence of this change is the emergence of what is called the quantum liberation. It's a state of being. You have earned its specific baseline frequency. So this is off of one of the quantum unfolding channels, one of their videos. Not verbatim, but close. But you know, Spirit. Hey, Allison, you're going to get a lot more queuing. What are the DNA codes? What is happening to us? We've been told for decades, those of us who've been following the Schumann forever and spirituality forever, you're upgrading. What the fuck does that actually mean? What does it mean? You got 2 strands of DNA, Allison, in the 3D linear form. It's two. Plus a chicken buck. Chicken buck. So you have a double helix of DNA. Cool. Great. Thank you. Phenomenal. But we've been told, we've been intuited, we get our downloads, our uploads, our all this stuff. What was it actually doing inside of you? Shifting your frequency, shifting the level of consciousness, shifting your vibratory state and resonance in your field. We've been shifting our vehicles internally. Our mitochondrial DNA is also altering. Not because we took a jabba-doodle, not because of this and that we project from the outside world that, oh, they're trying to kill us. Yes and no. And it's all meant to be the way it's supposed to be playing out right now. I don't know why people keep bashing, judging, and pointing fingers at, oh, those are people and they have masks on and they're retarded. I don't like that word, by the way, but that's what some people project still to this day. Stop. It's their choice, not your choice. So why are you worried about their choice? Why does that affect you? Because they're sleeping? Let them. That's the choice God made for them. Remember, God is at the helm of it all. If we're not all one, please explain to me what else we are. I'm waiting. It's quantum energy. It states you are observing that because that's something you still continuously need to heal within you. That's showing up in your everyday world. It's insignificant. Stop worrying about everybody else. Worry about yourself. And that's not easy to do. That is absolutely not easy to do because We are all conditioned to tune in to the program that's playing in the theaters near you. You're programmed to. Understand the program. And there's a million of different programs that run. It's from when you were born, what you were raised with, what you're getting in and absorbing as a child. It's all your family. It's the people, the friends, the state, the country, the nation, the race, the this, the. It's so multi-layered. There's a program for everything. But when you can step out and notice the pattern of it, you are in choice to either feed that observation or to let it go. What no longer serves us is dissolving out of our reality. This is the true split. All those uploads and downloads from the Schumann residence, from whatever you want, it doesn't need to be from the Schumann. It could be from the angels, the Arcturians, the Palladians, this, that, and that, and that. I'm not making fun of them, but if whatever you set, whatever your brain assails to and shoots to, and that's where I'm getting my light codes. Cool. Wherever you're getting that photonic light, changing your inner core. I could care less what you label it as. You're upgrading. Everybody gets these codes in different types of codes at different time frames. It's up to your vehicle, your soul contract, that shows when it's going to evolve into the lotus. And everybody's lotus evolves differently. Everybody's rose unfolds differently. Every color of these beautiful flowers blossom different. I'm not here to judge. But many of us are here to do and be a part of the first wave. And there's no exact who's first. Does it matter? That's your ego speaking if, oh, I'm doing it first. No, no. There's a wave of us doing it first. Because we're going to be the examples. We're going to go through it, the difficulty of it all. And then again, those in the second wave, third wave, I mean, Dolores wasn't necessarily wrong with the waves. I just don't think her time frames were accurate. But does it matter? Not necessarily. The concept was correct. Bye, Curtis. Enjoy your dinner. Chicken dinner winner. You fundamentally change the observer. The evidence of this change is the evidence of what is called that quantum liberation. You're emerging out of the matrix to evolve into a new one. Here's the key. You are creating it. We are all co-creating it together. It's a state of being. A state of being. You have earned its specific baseline that you're holding now. So I am just in the infancy of this baseline new reality quantum leap shift. Because I'm not necessarily doubting. I'm having beautiful signs like Ashmaya sending me stuff. Like humanity is good. People are helping me out when they can and how they can. And it is great. I am starting to see slowly, but significantly, numbers climbing as subscribers. And I don't care where it's coming from, Lil Thor, Freya, or my content. It's slowly emerging. Hi, Arnie. So you fundamentally change the observer. You're observing a new reality, a frequency where your very presence no longer resonates With the circuit of the old problem, it's defined by three core characteristics that have been forged within you through all your trials. The first is non-reactivity, the profound ability to witness an old trigger without feeding it. So this was a realization for me when the friends, the character assassination started to happen. And yeah, I did react because I did need to defend myself. Like that's a boundary that was crossed that needed to be defended. But I didn't go any further. Old self would have done some damage, would have opened mouth and spoke things that, that are private and will always remain private. I'm not that asshole. I'm not that see you next Tuesday. But I could, but I won't. Because I have integrity for myself and for others. Because they do not. They're not in the awareness. Okay. So old self would have already brawled it out, did some stupid shit, and this new reaction was like, I'm taking the high road. Whatever. If people are gonna leave, I'm disappointed in those people because I thought better of you. And not listen, you do you, boo. But data from a dead past timeline. I'll see you when you hit this frequency and you are ready to meet me where I'm at. I'm not lowering the self anymore. And then the relationship loss. That stung. That really, 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 really hurt. But instead of collapsing into a fetal position, I just said, okay, cut the cord. I'm not observing this anymore. And then I woke up the next day and I was calm. The car not working. Going, well, how am I going to get a battery? I don't have a car and I can't walk to the shop because that is way too far for Allison's legs to carry her. And then with a very big 50-pound plus battery, I don't know if I could do that. And there's no way I'm going to get there safely with no sidewalks and some of these roads around here. So right, there's not even crosswalks. Like you got to play Frogger around here. It's very dangerous. But I felt numb, calm, numb. Like I'll deal with it as it comes. What am I gonna? There's nothing I can do. So instead of getting angry over the situation, I'm breathing. But you're not feeding your energy anymore. Your nervous system no longer fires in the old way. This non-reaction starves the circuit of its power source. The second is inner authority, the deep cellular knowing that you are the observer, not the victim. It's the shift from asking, why is this happening to me, to understanding what reality am I choosing to collapse with my focus. That is hard. This is where in the Schumann resonance, the purging has come in handy. The Schumann resonance, for me, the red, the orange spikes within the light is us releasing old self, releasing the anger, releasing the hate, releasing the frustration, and recalibrating the nervous system. Hi, John. No, it didn't. I don't know, the way these people drive around here, like, listen, I'm from New York and I used to just jet out in the middle of the street constantly because I knew what I was doing. Here, I don't know. It's really dangerous around here. Um, but if we look and understand this component, we were in awareness that we create a reality, right? But then stuff in our world kept coming and looping, karmic loops. I get in, I had Viking and then I had Marine. Okay, and it was a different, way different, two polar opposites, but yet they ended in very similar ways. And it looped for what? I don't know. The lessons, learnings, teachings, or maybe what I imparted on them that they needed to learn, or both. And I learned a lot from Marine, not to lie. But why is this happening to me? Now I have to put it in context to understanding the reality that I am choosing. Now, why am I choosing this reality? Is because my soul now, in its upgrade, in its cellular downloads and uploads from the cosmic universe, from doing all the shadow work and purging out old self, old ways of thinking, holding things in my head for strength, and letting it go. Ah, so all that inner child work, all that I need to love myself actually makes a fucking difference in how you are collapsing your reality, how you are observing your reality. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you, and actually feel it in totality, not just a little bit or just outer shell surface. You need to love your soul. And a lot of people are not there yet. Scott, I don't know about Indiana, but like you would think it's 16 degrees here. It's not like we've never seen snow and ice. Like I've seen it every year that I lived here, some more years than others. And thank you, Charlene. And you would just think that people would drive with better understanding of, okay, you need to keep space and stop speeding and stop revving your engine. And I can't tell you how many accidents have, it's like a big thing around here. Thank you, Charlene. Thank you. Thank you. But I want people to realize we say these things like, oh, we create our own reality, but we're doing it from an unconscious standpoint. When I say unconscious, it's not because your outer consciousness doesn't believe that you are capable. Of course, you believe you are capable, you're wonderful. You have things though that limit your experience. So me going to work and getting rejected and rejection and no's, it perpetually loops. And of course you're always, as humans, like I said before, we always strive to go negative before we go positive. Now I'm starting to do more of, well, if that didn't work out, God has something, or the universe has something better for me to strive for. Now let's work on what that actually is. Instead of going, well, I'm not good enough, no one wants my resume, I suck. Sure, those things can also be true, but why are you focusing on that stuff? So we need to understand, what reality am I choosing to collapse with my focus? That's why if we go back, I am now observing the reality where my YouTube channel has 100K subs and 300 members. It's not far out of reach that I can obtain that. I'm not saying 4.5 million subscribers. I'm not saying that. I'm doing something that I know in eventuality I can obtain. I am observing the reality where my husband arrives in my life. Like I don't think I'm hideous. I don't think I'm that middle-aged yet. I think I have a lot more life in me, and I know that there is a match for me that's going to meet me where I'm at and love me for the person and the creature that I am. And not to say that Marine didn't, but there's a lot of trauma and fear and holding back on his end that my boundaries will not go further with. And maybe it might change. I don't know. I don't hold anything out of the eventuality possibility factor, but I am arriving at a reality of absolute financial sovereignty. I'm moving, I'm putting into motion with my words and my focus. And what does that look like? Maybe selling my artwork for $1,000 a piece. Maybe that's the YouTube channel being just more than a passive income. Maybe writing a book and it making a bestsellers list somewhere. And I'm not trying to stick with the 3D theme. That's a 3D thing, but being successful in the ways that make me shine, that I'm happy to show up for. Have a good night, Charlene. Right. So as much as we need to go from a 3D limiting separated verbiage of one word means a million things, now we're trying to take what's in 4D, 3D, 4D, merge it in complete octave 4, meaning it's stable. We're oscillating in stability, harmonious stability. We're still in duality. We still have to have contrast. But just like the new self, the new reality, things are going to start shifting away from you because it's no longer serving your frequency. Your frequency outgrew the old. That's the split Dolores Cannon was talking about. It's not just good and evil. It's not polarity wise. It's you out vibrating what no longer serves you, and what no longer serves you might still serve me. It might still serve Scott or Ashmaya or Arnie. It still might vibrate for other people, but not for you. Focus on you. Because at the end of the day, all of this work is going to start helping others consciously expand. The third is detached observation. And I've spoken about this a whole shit ton. This is the capacity to see the old story, the old identity, the old drama as a story. You no longer believe you are the main character. You don't get lost in the orbit. It invokes a sense of neutrality. No longer feels like you. So where this stands is you still need to do your shadow work. You still need to go into your past to make sure, A, you're healed, and B, you're not associating that old self to the new you. That old me is playing out over there. It's now in a different time dilation, in a time ordinance over there. It's in a lower frequency than me. Now, that self is continuing. It's drama fighting with all those people from the other channel that hate my guts because they didn't get the full picture and they believe the words of others. And they're going in their heart space and not really using what is real. So they're over here. I'm still with Marine, but we're fighting and it's just like a nonstop battle, right? That's the old story, and I'm no longer attaching to it. Detached observation. You no longer see yourself in the story. So I no longer attach myself to the politics of this humanity because it is no longer a part of my story. If it serves me in some way, I'm still fucking waiting. Oh, we're gonna get this and we're gonna get that. Da 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 da. People are still waiting, and I'm no longer waiting because you know what? I observe in my reality, I am arriving at the place of financial sovereignty. How that comes to me is none of my business. None of my business. However it comes, it comes. If it's Nasara Jasara, phenomenal. But I am not being the carrot, the rabbit chasing the carrot on the stick, going, "Oh my God, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? When is it going to happen?" Chicken! When is it going to happen? I'm not worried about it anymore. That's why it's not a part of my story. The moves that 47 makes, not a part of my story any longer. Not because I don't like him, not because I'm not on his side, not because whatever the reasons. My life is the way it is because of a story that I wrote concurrently with everybody. And I'm over the story. I'm Vanuto, new reality, gotta shift it. And I did. Which is why I could still observe what's going on the outside of the old reality because it's still playing. And I'm still halfway in and out of it because I'm not yet into the new reality and it's still broadcasting out here. I could still observe it, but it's no longer a part of me. It's not my story. So I'm not attaching my emotions to perpetuate it any longer. I'm not feeding it my energy source. Like I was saying, like, and this is freaky. But I mean, last year I kept saying, why do you keep feeding the negativity? Why do you keep feeding what they are doing? Because you're giving it its energy in your focus to perpetuate. When you stop focusing on the crap, and yes, we already know a lot of this stuff inside. It's in us because we wrote it. We wrote this. We all wrote this. So in somewhere within you, when you do the work on yourself, you're going to start to see that's God. Why would God do that? Detach your emotional state. Why did you write it? Why did everybody write this story? I'm not trying to be an asshole because I'm a part of that story just as well. Because we needed contrast. We needed to know the last time before we shifted. This is why we're all here. We intellectually wrote the worst case scenario to overcome. Because when you can overcome the darkest of lights, the darkest of the darkest of energy, and transmute that shit to positivity, not just humanity, but the whole dichotomy of all the realms get rippled effect. And that ripple is extremely important. And without the suffering and the pain that all of us have experienced, the transmutation wouldn't be as strong. Not just personally, but for humanity. We have to take ownership that we wrote his story from the beginning to this now moment. What the universe is trying to get into everybody's expansion of consciousness is that yes, you do create your own reality. There's 1,000,005 people that believe in flat earth. There's like 2 million people that believe in the globe earth. There's toroidal earthers. There's this, everything. There's every choice has a different dichotomy and a different amount of people that believe in it. And that's the reality that is created for them. We co-wrote the plan, the storm. We co-created all of this. Well, people are dying. Well, it's just a vehicle. I know, Allison, but that's a family. That's a this. That's okay. And I, as much as I'm attached, do you not believe that you're immortal? That you live on forever? You do. So why are you worried? You get attached to this vehicle. That's all you know. That's what made you in the third density anyway of acknowledgement. Self-awareness is a third dimensional trait. Once you can self-identify, you're in 3D. 4D is acknowledging your other self and what you truly are. Not necessarily in a totality, but that you're more than what you are in this vehicle. That's 4D. If you could shift your perspective, it takes time, it takes work, and don't beat yourself up if you keep looping back. The loop is there, but if you can acknowledge that you're looping and acknowledge that you're repeating things, that's a great sign that you actually have the consciousness to see it. Now it's putting the work in to get out of that loop. I've been in the loop way longer than I ever wanted my life to be in. Because no matter what, of striving, trying, putting myself out there, working on the manifestation, there was a lot of things lacking in that observation that I didn't understand. Now I'm starting to get a picture of that understanding, not a big picture, but a small one. You render the fight irrelevant. This is the new paradigm. It was about fundamentally changing the rotational speed of the entire experience. You raised the rotational speed of our own consciousness. The centrifugal force of your new frequency becomes too great. This raises above the old pattern. You didn't solve the problem, you rendered it obsolete. You outgrew the wound, you didn't change the story. You changed the author. Does that make sense? My 3D problems are still my 3D problems. They're not going anywhere. But I just closed the book and changed the author. Now I can move on to the new timeline and observe myself creating a future that I already lived, merging that self with me and picking up from the point of, wow, I'm in the SUV of my dreams that has four-wheel drive and that is safe for me to travel in. I'm arriving at financial abundance. I am observing the reality that my husband and I are together. I outgrew the frequency. I did not outgrow the wounds. They're still here. I'm just not giving and feeding it energy anymore. You can't pay my bills? Well, they're going to have to wait. What's more important, me being fed, the cat's being fed, and I have heat? No, electric and gas still have to be, but I have to live. I need the essentials in this world. That's the important part. And yes, we are multidimensional. And for some, they don't grasp what that means or how that works. And this might be over some people's heads. That's why I listened to the video and I took some notes so that I can actually sit because I'm inserting the Schumann resonance. I'm inserting, which they didn't. Okay, so how is this logically looking for us? The Schumann resonance is showing us when Earth itself is doing the same cycle that we're doing. And it's helping us moving on up or moving on out. So the purpose was not repair, it was transformation. The loop didn't break because you successfully attacked it. The loop dissolved because you, the fundamental power source of your reality, began to vibrate at a level that could no longer sustain its existence. So I shifted my energy and dissolved the things that no longer serve me. That might also be the car. Who knows? You are the energetic architect of that of the old pain requires a low, dense frequency to maintain its structural integrity. You work your resilience, your relentless pursuit of something more systematically. Raise your baseline frequency cell by cell, thought by thought. You cross the threshold, you become vibrationally incompatible with your own suffering. That's why when the car died, and I'm like, I did say, but you know what? I like, you know what? It's a nice day today. I'm gonna walk down to the gas station and get some needs before the snowstorm. Old me would have kicked the car and probably smashed in the window. I was a very violent person back in my day. I would have done some stupid shit. Didn't. I walked to the store. I said, oh, it's nice today. I can do it. And we have snow. Gotta get there. You know what? I'm gonna walk to work. I could call people, but I don't need their safety being impeded. I'm gonna go. So I did. I walked to work. And I'll be walking to work until I figure out my car situation. But you see, I'm not making it negative anymore. I'm feeding it positivity. I'm feeding it like, okay, so this is what I am with. I could choose to break shit, or I can choose to look at it differently and go, okay, so this no longer serves me. The universe will work to put something better in its place. And I think I think that's all the notes I had. I thought they might be lost in the paper stack here. So yeah, that all of that combined. I was trying to look cute, but that it ain't working right now. It's batshit crazy. Batshit crazy. When we can understand the language of the quantum and how it applies and solidify, and again, not everybody's going to resonate with the way I'm perceiving the quantum language, but we're moving into that frame. At least I am. And those who are as well will be shifting with me. We have to look at what is the old story. You have to establish what your old story is, the looping, the patterns. This is like the beginning of the work. If you are watching this and you are stuck, I was stuck too, until I started really noticing where the loop keeps repeating. playing a record and there's a groove in the record that keeps skipping onto the same song and keeps replaying, right? Until you lift the needle and put it where it belongs, you're going to keep skipping and re-looping. And it could be the smallest or the biggest insignificant thing in your life that keeps you stuck. And not one thing. It could be multiple things. It could be one thing. Our souls chose some crazy things. It did. It's 17 degrees. Don't worry, I have a garbage right there. A bag. I was trying to be dramatic. So if anybody saw the post of me going live, I put a fishy and they said go at the flow. Fishy. In pointillism. Which inspired me to do something. Yes, I have my pencil. So here's the portrait that I've been working on. It doesn't look like much, but we're getting there. But I have a smaller pad with paper. And I want to show you something. Vision boards don't always work. Not because we don't have the worst intentions for ourselves. Trust me, vision boards can help people. But I was a part of something, and one of the meetings was like, next time draw a vision board for yourself. My head's a Merkaba. Here's my little maiden. And then the tree of life that I'm anchored to. And the tree and the raven and the Pleiades and the massive energy and planets. And then the Akashic Book of Wisdom, records, the key to the universe. Maybe that was just a projection. Who remembers this? Sorry, Zoom upgraded, so I don't know what goes on with Zoom. My little paper. This is the Bristol vellum surface. And I'm going to subconsciously or just have spirit guide me to the pointillism that I want to make. Like I have a beautiful thing in my head and it's just like, now how do I map that out? Give me a second. In the meantime, Just a side note. I know there might be a lot of people watching Journey to Truths, James Rinks. Um, let's talk about it a little bit because I actually got to speak to James on the phone a few times. This is James Rinks' book. He personalized it for me. Get comfortable here for an uncomfortable topic. There's a lot of projection out there, a lot. And I kind of saw this coming. There are going to be people that are aggrandizing off of his passing, transcension. That is crazy, El Sunray. I see something in my mind. It's more frequency based, but I have to like formulate it because I want it dotted, and that's not easy. And oddly enough, I opened to a page that said heart attack. This is almost 400 pages. It is over 400 pages, just about 400 pages. I don't like the language that is being projected. Nothing I can do about it, and I'm not going to feed it my reality. His soul signed up for this, and it's a lesson for humanity and the disclosure movement to learn. The truth is already within you. You don't need disclosure. You need permission to have disclosure. Permission. That permission slip Bashar talks about. It's a permission slip to allow you to dig deeper, to look deeper, to uncover the things that you and your soul already knew. You're just remembering. And these people were put on your path to start you on the remembering journey. Remember, you're not just this vehicle. You, like I said earlier, you're trying to achieve a higher timeline. You've already lived it. Time is an illusion. You and a million other versions of you are living in the multiverse right now. What you're doing is selecting from superposition the items, the characteristics of that self that is out there. There's a billion versions of you. So there's going to be the one version that you choose to observe to collapse. So the one that I am collapsing is the one that has a four-wheel drive SUV that's safe, that has the husband, that has abundance, that has this as my mainstay. I'm collapsing that version of myself. He chose his manner of going out. He's a mission spirit. If you ask a medium what a hey Buck, if you asked a medium what a mission spirit is, it's a person that knew their role some extent, to teach a greater humanitarian, humanistic lesson. What can we learn about James? Do you believe everything that James has said that happened to him? Probably not. Maybe. The man was humbled. He gave everybody a chance. There was so many assholes that he's interviewed that didn't give him, some people are giving him credit and others not. A lot of people got their starts and their fortunes and their capacities because of him. And now everybody's coming out of the damn fucking woodwork. Oh, I'm only going to post all this secretive crap because I know what happened to him. Cool. I think everybody at this point knows that something happened to him. That if you eat healthy and you do all this stuff for yourself, that doesn't mean that your body isn't going to, if it's in your contract, tomorrow is never a promised day. Tomorrow is never promised. You got to count your little blessings. He chose his out. Doesn't make it right or wrong. James chose his path before he was incarnated. He chose to experience and be abducted. He chose those things because he is a part of that. Do I believe that his soul chose that suffering? Potentially. I'm sure he's left an indent on so many people. That was his purpose. That was his soul's purpose, was to awaken and try to help others remember aspects of them that they played and are playing right now. Me and him had a conversation about what I am. Because he's like, I don't know if you're from the projects. I'm like, no, I observed the projects. I wasn't informed. And the aspects that I did play in it, I was for Team Light. Very few of my other selves have played the dark. I did have a couple. The Anunnaki life was the dark life. Or maybe I was the infiltrator in that dark, right? The one and only, I mean, I've watched him interview so many people. I used to watch his show religiously. And then he would have some like fanatical people that lied just to take advantage of him. Because he was that, like, you know, like I'm a good person and people take advantage of me. And that's James. His essence. People took advantage of him because they saw the potential and they didn't share it. He did an episode with, what's his name? I know his real name. I don't want to say his real name. Johann Fritz. That's his SSP name. Johann. And James did an SSP 101 video. That video opened up my paradigm tenfold. Because it was talking about pocket spaces of reality where certain things does and will exist, like the Umbrella Corporation. Where do you think the fucking game came from? Resident Evil. Where do you think that came from? A fart blew, somebody had a good idea? No, because it's real. The raccoon thing might be the falsehood. Hang on 2 seconds. Hi, I'm back. um, Frey is playing. If you get a chance, I know his channel is still going to be up for some time. That's also like a whole other argument. Go try to find SSP 101. That alone, it should have been in the reawakening and awakening society amongst all the other videos. Janet the fall of the Cabal lady. I can never get her last name projected out of my mouth. It should have been a part of that. Your observation is correct, sir. Because I don't have enough, I have to have enough creamer for the week until I can figure out if I can get creamer delivered. And then I have to figure out if I can get AutoZone to deliver me a battery and a kill switch. That's the first testings before I do. Thank you, Ashmaya. My friend in New York thinks that it's probably the ground in the electrical system I've been having issues with. And because of it being like super hot and then going to super cold, that it's whatever is the issue is sucking all the battery and the battery's completely drained. So that's why I can't jump it. So he told me to go get another battery with the kill switch, and at least at night I could kill it, especially when it's super freezing outside. And then you know, however that switch works, and have that installed. So a battery is, let's just say with taxes is 200, and then plus, so I'm looking at 230. I don't have it. So I'm going to be waiting a while for a battery. I'm not talking about the shitty, crappy ones that you can get on Amazon, because I was looking at batteries to see if I can get one delivered. Those are expensive, and they're shit brands. So yeah. Absolutely, I'll Sunray. And I listened to a lot of what he had to say throughout his journey here on this planet. And now we're going to see the aftermath of how many people aggrandize off of him. I'm seeing language. Miss Cassidy has projected. Dr. Exopolitic and some others. That I'm starting to see a loop in a narrative and a program being steered by that. James chose his ending. Was it manipulation? Was it a doom machine? Was it a frequency device? I wasn't there. I can't tell you. I know I've seen him deteriorate before he was even saying he was deteriorating, because I was on all this stuff. He did not look like himself. I was gonna go onto that Montauk trip. I was talking to him then, because I wanted to visit New York, and it was after I moved here. And he's like, "Yeah, we're going to Montauk." Something in my own plans didn't sync, and I couldn't go, but I really wanted to go and meet him and hang out with everybody for the weekend. The monks going to the cemetery, it's on the way. And you rock, Buckshot. Look at you. Thank you. And some of the conversations that we had, you don't have to believe everything that he was in, or the other alts and the draconians and the ships and the 20 and back and the other stuff, but he's not alone in saying half this. Max Spears and a bunch of other people have been taken out by government because of their work. Now, detach emotions for a minute and ask the why question. What was this showing? What was this bringing into reality? What was James trying to collapse? Why is he a mission spirit? He was helping us think differently. You didn't have to believe him. There's a lot of skeptics out there that like, our government would never do that. Kruger isn't real. What are you talking about, Kruger? What are you talking about, Mars? What are you talking about, Ceres? What the fuck are you talking about, right? There's a lot of people on that camp. Tim the Insider. There's a lot of other people that can collaborate. James, you don't need to believe it either. The idea behind this reality is to expand your thinking. Because in the superposition of quantum mechanics, every thought you project is realized. So if enough people thought that they had a 20 and back and they have missing memories and they are getting implants and showing you proof that there's nick scars and there's needle marks all over them, and they're waking up with that and they're giving you the evidence, they're showing you videos and whatnot. I don't know how much more tangible things you need. But again, you don't need to believe it. It's just the thought of expanding your mind. Now he transcended at this juncture because the vibration is high enough for him to collect all his fractals, all the soul splitting things that he's explained that happened to his soul. He's now going to be gathering all of that back and merging them into one being. He's been altered and split so many times. There's some videos that I'm like, that's not even James. That's his clone. He got out of the loop. And what he imparted on all of us was to keep digging and knowing our own truth. He walked his authentic path. He walked his truth. He helped people walk their truth. That's what he's imparting on all of us. That's how I would hope to carry out his legacy. Sure, there's some funky shit going on in this world. I'm not putting it into my reality because I don't want to project it. You are the light from the projector, the canister, the film, and the screen, and the person observing in the theater on the chair. It's all you. All of it. Now ask yourself, you wrote your movie. Now that you're not frequenting that vibration anymore, and who at their age did not go when you were younger, double moving it? You're paying for one and then you're going and movie hopping. You got your big backpack, your Jansport backpack, and you got your Janko jeans on, and you got all your snacks and all your extra drinks in your Janko jeans, and you got your backpack with your 40 in it, and you're movie hopping all day. I was bad. You're now hopping to the next movie. That's what I'm doing. I'm no longer a vibrational match for the reality that I'm leaving. And I'm observing and cohering and calibrating to the new. James left a ripple in the time continuum. He rippled out his essence like powder. His ripple has affected and will affect and is affecting all in one shot. Disclosure. And it's not about, for everybody else who projects this disclosure and we need to know the truth, you know the truth. Be honest with yourself. You already know aliens are here, they've been here, and there's manipulation on both sides. You know there's black projects. We know that there are black projects. We know that people are abducted. Project Serpo, we know the projects. We know the names. And those of you who don't, doesn't necessarily matter, no. There is the Orion Lines website that is brutal if you watch and look. There's a lot of stuff out there. You're exposing yourself more so to remember a part of you. James is a part of us because we are a part of him. We're one. Semi, but there is the Black League of Orion that actually one of the guys that I listen to, Raven, um most of them are of dark melanin. And he's amazing. He's actually worked with Lisa Michelle and a bunch of others who are on the page of Ashiana Dean level, but a little differentiated. Uh, he too has been persecuted and has been targeted. The difference now is his reality became truth and he owned it and he rippled that out to the rest of us. And I don't blame, and listen, like people that keep their identity, and I know there's a bunch of people. Peter the Insider is one of them. There's a bunch of people who like make these fake fabricated names just to keep their identities safe. What I like about James was he's authentic and I think he was selfless in his attempt to get the truth out, his truth. And he was only 45, only 2 years older than me. He went where his soul needs to go to get itself healed, full again. And because we need his energy in the higher density playing out in a different dichotomy for all of us to ripple into a better timeline. A lot of people took advantage of James and James knew it. I've had conversations with James And I always asked him, I'm like, why, just out of curiosity, not out of judgment, like, why would you have there's a couple of people he had on, and I'm like, oh. And then he's like, Allison, everybody has to dig their own grave. I'm just a platform for that to happen on. Um, a lot of people took advantage of him, and I'm seeing it now. Oh, come to my podcast because I can't speak it here. And I'm not bashing Journey to Truth. I like those guys too. They're amazing. I have nothing bad to say about those guys. I really don't have much bad to say. There's just a few people I question their motives. They're playing into a narrative in a program that is aggrandizing off of other people. That is, they speak ironic irony. They're hypocrites. They want the best for humanity, but yet they don't really help humanity in the ways that, hey, you are making 6 to 7 figures, and I don't really see you giving back to humanity in a way that is helping. And not saying, I'm going to write books and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. What are you doing for the people? Are you get like Mr. Exopolitic and Miss Druidess from Ireland and some of the other ones? You put all these conventions on, you're charging $600-700 a ticket. You're not advertising and selling what you're telling people you're delivering. And you're just sucking money out of people's pockets. Hey, if that's the experience you need, I don't judge. But they're running a program and a narrative. And I know that a lot of us can collapse a better reality. And we all have because we didn't fall into the traps. When you have a good soul like his, it's just really disappointing to see people taking advantage of what he never got to the heights. He was a delivery boy. He's like, oh, I have to go and make my deliveries. No problem, James. Have a beautiful day. Please be safe. Not any more than I am, right? I go to work and then I do this on the side. That's what he was doing. And not that I, from my knowledge, every time he tried to put a convention on, someone on the bigger ends collapsed it or tried to manipulate him or tried to, bash him in some way. It's like Ashiana Dean. Her stuff circulates here and there, but she's very solitary and very much a niche, like James, because they're walking authentically. And I think when more of us can walk authentically, you'll get the right people. And I'm hoping that now, since his ripple of energetics went out to everybody, we can start shifting that. Because I know we could do better as a humanity. And James left a legacy that I hope that the right people can continue and do it authentically and not because there's dollar signs involved. And not to say not to make money, but are you putting it back in the community that you're serving? Are you helping people out? Like he got people to do QHHT and regression sessions for nothing. James, that really didn't make much. He was helping people. He took the money he made and really gave it back to his community. I don't see so many of these people doing that. I know I was not a recipient of the help that I needed when I was in New York, and now I'm here. I'm just praying wherever James is in the transcension aspect that he gets what his soul deserves, to be whole again. And I hope that we can all ask for that for him. And I'm sure whatever his soul wrote will come to fruition in some aspect, but I really do hope that his fragments come back, because he really helped a lot of people. He helped me expand my thinking, and it only went off on tangents that I would have never been able to go on if it wasn't for him. So his essence, I thank so much. His humbleness, his beautiful spirit, I humble all of that. There's not many people like him. Oh dear God. 3 years ago today, I was starting to get myself packed up and ready to move. I got the travel cat mansion. Yeah. Wow. Where I've been, Facebook is a really good place to show you like where, like, and be humbled. I'm humbled to be where I am. And I hope you guys can see that same for yourself. So December 2nd, emotional releasing through purification continues today. You're alchemizing stored trauma mentally and emotionally so you can return back to the fullness of self. This includes your creative talents and self-expression. Utilize the sun moving through Scorpio and Ophiel, I don't know how to say that, the 13th planet thing. The element of ether of spirit, the womb, and the return to the all. From this starting point, you can transmute all negativity to light. Here is where you find what is meant for you. This is your gift, your signature residence. Quantum mechanics. Go within and seek this truth. Unify with it in separation for emergence of the real you. And this is from the source message this morning. You've outgrown the version of you that approached life with hesitation. You stop bargaining with your fears. You stop dimming your expectations to avoid disappointment. Now you meet life with the softness that comes from knowing you've carried, you've shown up as someone who knows their worth, someone who understands that the right things arrive when the internal soil is ready. This is why blessings feel closer. This is why clarity feels louder. This is why life is moving in your favor so naturally it feels inevitable. That's why I'm arriving at the frequency and reality where I'm financially sovereign. Absolute. This is also December 2nd. There is a fire inside you that exhaustion tried to dim, heartbreak tried to drown, and disappointment tried to bury, yet it still burns. Today, let it rise. Your strength is not measured by how loudly you fight, but by how quietly you continue in the hours when no one sees you. The world has broken you in ways you never said out loud, but it always shaped you into someone who refuses to vanish. That's all of us. December asks you to trust your resilience again, not because everything is perfect, but because nothing has managed to extinguish your spirit. Your flame still exists for a reason. Follow it. Even your silence carries a bravery most people never learn. Every scar you hid is proof that you keep choosing life, even when life felt unkind. This fire within you is not rage, it is rebirth. And if you let it guide you, it will take you to a place where your soul can finally breathe again. And with every step you take, the fire grows brighter, reminding you that survival is its own kind of victory. The world may have tested you, but it never defeated you. And today, the truth becomes undeniable. Angel number 444. Who here is feeling that energy? Are you feeling the energy? Who's feeling it? Excuse me. I bless you. I'm intuitively doing this, by the way. What's up, Ivy? I see you're back, girl. I got some squiggles that you can't even see, but I'm going to be pointillism. So December 2nd, the universe is saying as the full moon approaches, yeah, we have a full moon again, your inner tide began to rise. This isn't chaos, it's clarity wanting to surface. Full moons illuminate the corners of your soul you've outgrown. The truths you've whispered and the power you've kept quietly burning. Over the next day, let yourself feel what comes up. A full moon doesn't ask you to fix anything. It simply asks you to witness. Be the observer. Witness. Witness your emotions, your desires, your discomfort, your courage. Let the moonlight show you what is ready to be released. What is finally ready to be claimed. Tonight and tomorrow, step outside for a moment, lift your face to the moon, breathe in deeply. Know that this light is for you, a reminder that your soul is expanding, your intuition sharpening, your path becoming unmistakably yours. Ivy, I know. This is from December 1st, but we're still in that energy. On December 1st, 2025, Mars conjuncts Juno in Sagittarius at 19 degrees, igniting a moment where passion, purpose, and commitment merge into one clear direction. This energy reveals who is genuinely aligned with your path, who cannot walk where you are headed. It's not because those people in my life that left were wrong or right or indifferent. I outgrew their frequency. I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to. I am getting more physically active by walking on ice and snow. It's fun workout. Where you are, Mars brings honesty into your desires, while Juno awakes the devotion needed to build something real, stable, and spiritually aligned. Spiritually aligned. This is where clarity cuts through illusion, helping you recognize the difference between temporary chemistry and soul level commitment. A truth that powerfully redirects your heart toward what actually matters most. Under the influence, relationships become easier to read. Intentions match actions. Truth replaces confusion, and destiny-driven partnership becomes unmistakable and deeply felt. This transit pushes you to move with courage, choose with clarity, and recognize the connections that elevate your future instead of repeating your past cycles. This goes back to that loop I was talking about earlier. Stop the karmic loop. It's just a circuit. It's energy. The superposition is in a universal field of potential, the quantum field. Once you observe, feel what you want, feel it, observe it, move toward it in terms of using your words as I'm arriving, because you're putting now your intentions into observation, into focus. I am now observing. So you're still using the I am affirmation, but you're using it with declaration. I don't know if I read this one, but I need to blow my nose. Give me a second. I'm back. You don't need me to. All my kids in my classroom are sick. What is unfolding now is a relationship you are finally able to have with yourself. A quiet, unshakable, solitary that no person or circumstance can come between. The inner trust and safety you've been rebuilding is becoming the baseline for how you see the world. It's as this realization settles in, you begin to understand that trusting yourself creates the capacity to trust life. Nothing outside you need to change or validate you. The world simply meets you at the level of truth you hold within yourself. Like I said, truth is at a frequency that you're at, not because you've read 1,000,005 documents, not because you read 5,000 books behind me. It's because here, here. The days of striving, convincing, appeasing, shaping yourself around the expectations of others are ending. We'll get back to that in a second. You are entering a chapter where your presence is no longer negotiated and your choices no longer come from fear. You're walking a path where you're finally get to be your effortless, carefree, embodied self. And that self is one life has been signaling, waiting for you to acknowledge and recognize all along. The biggest block in any type of relationship dichotomy that you can have is when you place expectations on another human. I know I've never been married, so I don't know. And I've only lived with my mom and my dad. And I live by myself with my cats. You can't expect someone to meet your expectations. You have to meet your own. People place an assortment of bullshit of expectations on you. And then when you don't meet their expectations, that's when chaos ensues. That's when the fighting happens. That's where the irregularity, the inharmony happens. And it's not because you agree to disagree with your spouse or your significant other, whoever they may be. But you maybe biasly or unbiasedly, you place expectations on your partner. They're going to meet the bills this month. They're going to do X, Y, and Z. They're going to make dinner for me tonight. That's expectation. Stop assuming. That's not fucking easy. That's not easy. And a big problem with the relationships that I've entered in my life, people have placed expectations that I will never, knowing my own self, know that I will never meet. The version of me that they're projecting onto doesn't exist. Does that make sense? And you got to look at your own relationships in your life. What are you expecting out of others? It's different to hold yourself accountable, right? You want somebody to show up each day as their best versions of themselves, but that's not always going to be the case. Something might be wrong with them one day, they don't feel good, and their vibration lowers. And what you thought was going to unfold never got to unfold because they don't feel good. Now your expectation got crushed. When you stop having expectations in the first place, you can't get disappointed. When you're holding up people to high standards that is not obtainable for them in that now moment, maybe in the future, but the self that they're projecting at you now, you have to be realistic. it's hard truths. What people project onto me as expectations, I have my own expectations for my own self, my own life. I'm showing up for my own self. That's not going to be the same as showing up for someone else. I'm going to show up as the best version of me, but that doesn't always come out. Stop expecting. Stop expecting. I might need thicker microns. Boop, 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 boop. I might need bigger microns. Ba-da-doo-doo-doo. For anybody that has children that needs occupational therapy and a stronger grip, this is it. This is strengthening my wrist, my hand, and my forearm. Because I'm putting dots there. I was going to go with color like I did with the fishy and the Craft and Sip thumbnail. I did that in junior high school. I did a fishy because we're going with the flow. We're going with the wavelength that best serves my paradigm. But in a lot of those uplifting words, you know, the universe is saying to you today, your turnaround is going to happen quickly. You're about to see the change you've been waiting for. The time has come. Have your back. I have your back. Keep moving forward. Stuff like that. But there's other stuff there that I post that is starting to have the quantum language intertangled with it. The definitions of the words I am starting to see, I pointed it out on Friday, are definitely increasing in the level of how it's hitting, of the meaning, that it's hitting here harder, closer, however you're feeling them. But a lot of that stuff is now quantum word entangled. There's a lot of word and diction that is starting to collapse into a defined notion of more feeling, harder to comprehend words. Instead of saying that use the law of attraction, it's actually giving you the science behind it with some of these terminologies and definitions. Which are you choosing to stay in? The old dichotomy or the new? And it's okay to shift your perspective. It's okay to be on a bandwagon and jump off of it. It's okay. And no one should judge you for it. And if they do, they're in a lower frequency and move away from them. You're not going to get rid of all the people in your life just because you shifted a reality. You shifted your vibration and frequency. That doesn't mean that I won't see my ex in the supermarket or run into a person from my past. That still is going to happen. It's your reaction that changes to it. It's how you deal with people that shifts. It's how you're standing more in your authority, not as an asshole, but somebody that knows their worth. It's not allowing people to step all over you. It's taking your power back. It's claiming all the parts of you that you lost along the way to decisions that weren't really for your best, but you need the lesson for. You're owning that power back. You're taking and claiming it back. You're getting your empowerment back. And if people come back and cycle back into your life, but they shifted too, and they now then realize, oh, I put too many expectations on what you should look like in my life. I shouldn't have done that. What I should have done is, hey, I'm going to meet her where she's at, and we're going to move forward together without having assumptions and expectations of something she's not ready to inhabit or embrace yet. But that's mature thinking and not, oh my God. I found it. I was looking for this. Sorry, guys. Full moon. It's happening for here the 4th of December, which would have been my cousin's birthday, the one that passed and transcended over. And I still have yet to hear from my other cousin. I've been calling. I don't know what's wrong, and I don't want to tap in just yet. Overlapping realities. I'm overlapping one right now. Completion of soul contracts. Most of us are closing out contracts, people, places, and things that no longer are serving our new reality. That contract comes to a close. It's not to say that you can never close a contract. When your lesson is learned and you move forward, you close that contract. The book shuts. Akashic Records, it's already there. Now it's going to go up on the shelf. No one's writing it anymore because it's done. You finished. Complete. Finito. You ate the beautiful cannoli. It's now in your tummy. It's being dissolved. Closure. This is a period because 9 is the endings, where usually they say 10 is really the but we're in the 9 year and we're closing everything out. So everything that no longer serves you is leaving. Bye, Felicia. And we love you and thank you for serving us. We give you all the grace, beauty, compassion. Thank you. Because I needed to be and have that experience in order to be where I am today. Thank you. Go over there. Heightened sensitivity in the body and mind. What James is doing. A powerful time to call back lost fragments of yourself. That's what James is doing. And this is what a lot of us have been culminating in the purge energy. We're purging old self, but reclaiming energy that we have mistakenly or unknowingly have sent out that we need back. We're doing that now. I got Pinky just in case. Many are experiencing timeline and reality overlaps. You may see or hear things that feel unusual or out of place. These are simply echoes from your parallel realities. This full moon asks us to slow down and flow. Rolling with my homies. Get plenty of sunlight, which is really hard for a lot of us to do. Spend time in nature. That's why I like doing my walks to work, not because Allison wants, I love a ride home. I would love to get home, within 10 minutes. That's not a reality. I need a walk right now. Soak in a warm bath. I did that. It was amazing. I got to do it again. Listen to your heart and listen to your body. If the timeline echoes feel intense, shifting your frequency will help stabilize your energy and quiet the overlaps. This full moon will reunite you with your true self. Your hopes and your dreams, we are surrounded by magical energy. Keep your vibration high to attract positive experiences. Yes. Hey, Sparky. So in that, a lot of us are heightened in sensitivity, and a lot of us are losing the sleep, and we're not in our bodies. We're all over the place. That's okay. You're finding your true self, not the personality, not the character playing in the movie. Your soul is now stepping in. Your higher self has already stepped in, but the higher density self is now stepping in, stepping forward and overlaying with you until you are refining and calibrating to its frequency. Then I'm arriving at the reality of absolute financial sovereignty. And please don't not use it. Use what I'm saying. I'm arriving at the frequency of sacred unconditional partnership. I'm observing the reality where my business makes six figures. I am now observing the reality where my YouTube channel makes 100K subs and 300 memberships. I am now observing the reality where my husband walks into my life. I declare it. And I'm going to repeat and repeat. Use those. I am now observing the reality and put whatever you need there for you. It could be, I am now observing the reality where my climate has snow. I am now arriving at the reality where I have the SUV that's four-wheel drive. I am now arriving at the reality where I am going to receive opportunities from others to expand my prosperity. You could come up with an unlimited amount of sayings, but this was the framework that Quantum Unfolding channel is giving, and it makes sense because when you're arriving, you're setting your intention into motion. It's not just having a cause and effect of physicality. Like for me, in order for me to move, I have to pack my stuff up, right? I have to physically go out and get a realtor. But putting the action into motion also involves your words. That's how you structure. And then your observing is collapsing the wave function. It's collapsing the superposition of where what you want is actually obtained through don't put expectations on it. Like Spirit said to me the other day, Allison put a Facebook post about the Amazon wish list because at this moment in the real reality that you're sitting in now, you are incapable with everything else surmounting to either feed Freya and Little Thor or fix your car so that you're not walking and that you can get to the grocery store and that you're not spending more money having delivery service. Ask, It doesn't hurt. If people don't want to, that's okay. If people want to, that's great. So take that into consideration, that it's not to sit idly by and not do something to better your life and wait for the universe to deliver it to you. I'm still showing up each and every day for the things that I'm fulfilling. I'm not sitting idly by and not working to get my dreams and my desires to be launched. I have to put myself out there for opportunities to be handed to me or to come into my purview, the door opening. And maybe now is the time that it happens. Because the energies, the reality collapsing, one reality dissolving, the other one is forming, and I'm in this void of in between. Dots. You gotta love dots. Boom, boom, boom. Pinky. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum. If I can get one of my children on just like voice, chicken. OMG. I did my chicken today and my teacher looked at me like I'm nuts. I'm like, she's like, what? Like, I do that. I reset my camera on Zoom. But here's some evidence, if you guys don't believe me. Only a few days ago, I hit 2,000 subscribers. I'm already at 2.23K subscribers. And this is not to feed my ego. This is just showing that for whatever it is in the energy, I'm receiving more subscribers each day. Well, we love you too, Miss Sparky. I'm glad you stopped by. You're appreciated. I put a thumbprint on my dotilism, my pointillism picture. I'm glad you stopped by, Chica. But what is the things dissolving out of your reality? What are you gaining back in your power? What are you taking back? What are you claiming for yourself? The full moon is incoming and it's more about release. New moons are about like, what do you want? But the full moon is really asking you, what are you willing to let go? And are you willing to put the work in to achieve it? And that work looks different for everybody. But at some juncture in your life, are you done with the old story? How do you create your new one? What do you want? And now you have to go and observe it. You have to collapse the superposition state. You have to dissolve what no longer serves you. Are you willing to do it? And these videos that I've been watching have, a lot of them are repeat. A lot of the channels are starting to do that with the AI guy and a lot of people do that. Maybe they are not the best public speaking. But there is real people behind those. It's not AI like you hear Sage from that chick in the UK. But they're really, even if you think it is AI, there's some really good substance and truth to what it's saying. Like I could take out this book and tell you the exact meaning of superposition and decoherence and the observer effect. I could do that, and it's probably going to match everything that's in these notes that I have here. And you need to see the signs of universe. It's not just the universe, it's your other self living that world that you want, sending you angel numbers. We call them angel numbers. They're from you. They're signposts. That feather was from you, not from something like, yeah, we want to say it's from an angel. You are the angel. Why are you denying that fact? Are you denying it? Don't deny it. I just want to see the difference here in the size of my little doodle dots. So microscopic. 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 Look at those little dots, and then look at those big dots. Little dots and big dots, little dots and big dots. Micro, mini, micro, mini. Micro, mini, micro, mini, micro, mini. Chicken! Buck, buck. Correct, Miss Ivy. But now I need you to walk in your empowerment and understand your contract that you have. What's your look at your contract, dear. And I'm not saying that to be disheartening. Because Ivy's going through the same thing I went through 8 years ago. Just about. I was doing the same thing with my mom. I was working and being pulled in too many directions, physically taking care of her and doing everything else like I would be a mom. It's nuts. No, you're not. Stop bashing yourself. You got to raise your frequency, girl. I was where you were at 8 years ago. And it isn't a fun place, and it's and this is the thing I give you compassion for. It is not an easy thing to navigate at all. I went through my father's passing, my mother's passing. Holy. And I was not I was prepared in some and not in others. The 3D shit I was not prepared for. Spiritually, absolutely, very, very highly prepared. Moved them on. It was a beautiful experience. But in the 3D bullshit of stress, I saw where my collapse happen. It short-circuited my nervous system, and I got rheumatoid arthritis. I changed my story. I changed how I defined my life, and the arthritis got better. 20 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to walk in the snow to go to work. I would have been able to walk, period. But I had a will of a determination to change my story. It took a long time to have it actually transpire where I was walking and doing for myself without braces and without pain meds and without a special diet. I had to dissolve that aspect of me. That was fucking hard. And that's the problem that we all have to traverse at some point in our lives, right? We all have to go through somebody else's transition. Unfortunately for myself, I've been through way too many in one short little lifespan of transitionings and what we consider in human terms loss. Nothing's lost. It's just a transformation of energy. We have to, and this was the hardest part of my learning thus far. And the hardest one for me to actually actualize and embody that my parents, as much shit as they burdened me with, only knew at the capacity of where they were at mentally. I was their biggest teacher, and I'm humbled to have acknowledged that. A lot of the pain we experience is, yes, physical, actual shit going wrong in our bodies. That's going to happen. You're infallible. You're in a vehicle. Stuff does happen to us. But psychosomatically, when we're repressing energy that we have yet to recognize, or that we haven't went through our trauma and our shadow aspect properly, or there's still more lessons that we didn't consciously see in the moment, that stuff will energetically come back and snap at you. And I've had that for 20 years. But now my definition of myself is not defined by my pain. When I didn't define my life by pain, it stopped happening. And it's not to say that I'm not uncomfortable. I've been shifting in my chair a shit, but I am not in pain. I couldn't hold a pen. I couldn't walk up the stairs. I had an acorn stair lift. I had a walker. I had a cane. I had a pillow on my ass all the time. I still do in my car. But I never thought I would be able to lift kids up on a changing table. They're not necessarily babies, that they're 50, 60 pounds, and I'm picking them up, throwing them on a table. I outlived that story. I didn't resonate with that story anymore. So in time, my body started to heal itself. And that's the totality of where we need to shift. You can use, I am arriving at the reality of a healed self. I'm observing the reality where every pain in my body is gone. You need to speak it into and feel it and own it and embody it. And you need to keep up these things. Anytime your old self starts popping through in your head, your ego, and the woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda, have yous, and well, if I did this differently, well, no, it happened the way it happened for a reason. Lessons and learnings needed to be projected there. But you can say data from the dead past, obsolete data, obsolete. Signal from a deleted timeline. No longer serving me. Obsolete code. The quantum field is made up of zeros and ones. And sometimes numbers that don't exist. Ooh, magic fun stuff. I like magic fun stuff. Um, Walking home today, with the snow, the untouched snow, not the pee and the poo and the leaves and the nasty shit. Um, there's a lot of beautiful geometry that you could tap into. Um, Winter was always normally when Timothy Leary came out of my life. And we used to, me and my friends used to go to the woods and just look at the snow. And hours would pass by because it's so sparkly and amazing. I think that's another reason why I enjoy the snow, because I've witnessed nature's beauty within it. I'm not promoting anything, and please don't do anything I used to do. Caution. Um, but I don't need that stuff to reach those states now. If I really tune in and focus my attention to what and get my ego and my character and my personality out of the way and just sit as the silent observer. Not while I was on things. In the safety of the warmth of my car. But I love snow angels. I like making snowmen, different variations of snowmen. This year with all the snow that we've just gotten, it's hard because they didn't take all the leaves, they didn't collect them. So the snow really is a leaf pile as well. So it's hard to shovel and form anything. Last night we got another 4 inches of snow. Another 4 inches of snow. And right now it's 18 degrees. And I'm sure I've been running my sinks and my heater in my under my cabinets because my pipes freeze. And then the little bath that I want won't happen. Dot 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 dot. But make sure on the full moon, if you're into the astronomy and into the energy, what are you changing yourself into and what other things? Be honest with yourself that needs to go, or to define better, or to bring more meaning into. It's not just about the release. The release is essential because you're making room for the new to walk into. You're giving the new potential and possibility more of a life to live. You're breathing more energetic magnetism into life by just allowing. But you have to release in order for the new. So what are you releasing this full moon? And once again, you're not perfect. So if you fall back into the loop, just go back and say, this no longer serves me. It's not in my timeline. Cancel, clear, delete, or the signal from a dead, deleted timeline. Data from a dead past, obsolete. I don't want to be a snow hog. I like the snow, but Indiana could do better. Like my town can definitely do better. They absolutely suck. Like New York City really fucking sucked. No offense to my DSNY people out there. Um it's more of the equipment and the availability of the people that are doing the plowing. I could tell you right now, the side streets are shit, the major roads are great, and some of them aren't. Why is that? There was a 50 car pileup in Terre Haute. It's not like down south in Indiana doesn't see snow as much as they see it up here. You know it's gonna snow. It's near a lake. We get lake effect. Like everybody's like, oh my God, it's so cold outside. I'm like, guys, I used to be a Norse Viking. I used to live and thrive in the cold, in another self, playing out right now. I'm just embodying that energy. Freya is stepping into her role, you know. I mean, the so yesterday when I left the house, like we just had like 4 inches of snow. And I hear the plows going by all night with the salters and the chemical stuff that they put on the road. Great. This morning, no, yesterday morning, I walk out my door and I see one of the school buses headed to pick up kids. And in front of my house hits a patch of black ice and starts fishtailing into the other lane. And then they abruptly like emergency pull brake and then like try to like un- undo themselves. Like it was scary. What happens if there's little babies on there? Oh, it's Indiana. We're used to this. Are you now? Because it doesn't seem like any of you know how to drive in snow. I'm not, I know why I don't drive my car in the snow because my car sucks in it. Like I'm not an ignorant asshole. I know when I can and I know when I can't drive. It's because I've had experience driving in snow. New York City gets a ton of snow. It's not like it doesn't happen there. It's not like moving from Florida to Indiana and you're like, never seen snow before. Oh my God. How do I drive in this? Up, I have to put grandma's casserole in the back without the cover. Grandma baked made a stew and it's in a crock pot and grandma's sitting in the back seat. You got to drive really cautiously. It's really comical. And then there's people out there that like I've been doing this forever. And then they cause a 50 car pileup. All has a purpose and a reasoning. It's just a lesson in a teaching that like things need to change. Things need to absolutely change. Did that. We're getting there. You got winds coming off the ocean, girl. That's really the problem. Ireland's not a place to mess with. Okay, I'm sorry. This is from the Cat Cafe down the block. If I could afford to have another cat, I want this one. He has a mustache. The baby has a mustache. Look at the mustache. Look at the baby mustache. He has a mustache. I think that's a boy. I don't know. I want the one with the mustache. OMG. 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 I'm just checking to see if there's any new the full moon anything on more on that. Because this ain't getting done anytime. This is gonna take me a while. Tonight, Tuesday after midnight, in Taurus, portal activation. I step into the fire of my heart where fear ends. My true power rises. Say that 3 times. I step into the fire of my heart where fear ends. My true power rises. I step into the fire of my heart where fear ends. My true power rises. I like that. Sharing. Happening now, Venus sextile Pluto. If you've been feeling waves of love, passion, and craving for deeper connections lately, you tapped into the energy of Venus sextile Pluto. This aspect fuels relationships with intensity and amplifies attraction, bringing emotion to the surface, uncovering hidden truths, and awakening desires that refuse to be ignored. Love feels magnetic, pulling people together in ways that seem destined, while trust and openness creates bonds that grow unshakable. Conversations lead to revelations, and connections that once felt casual may now take an unexpected depth, shifting into something profoundly meaningful. Whether in love, friendships, or soul growth, this energy pushes you to show up fully, embrace your truth, and take bold steps toward emotional depth and transformation. Let go of fears, trust what your heart is telling you, and open yourself to deeper love connection. And understand that reach far beyond the surface. If you see 1111, 222, or 77, expect communication that brings emotional declarations, hidden truths, and reconnection. I didn't know raccoons can get drunk, but apparently raccoons can get drunk. Raccoons can get drunk. Let's do a Schumann check-in. We're gritting in the higher wavelengths. The higher field of energy and wavelengths where we sit is merging. And the other aspects are it's densifying and falling through. Gritty, 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 gritty. And then so that is happening. I've never seen an animal drunk. I don't know if I want to. I know Loki and Floki and Bjorn that used to come to my outside to eat little Thor's food. And since the snow, and I haven't seen Baby P, Mr. Possum. He's really cute. And he's very sweet. I try to leave him like a handful of, like I take little Thor's food and like I put it on the deck, so that he can come out whenever he feels safe. I think he's lodged in my gardening center. He's taking refuge in there because I have felt planters that I store in there, and I think he's in it. But I haven't opened it up. I don't want to scare the little guy away because I don't think that little guy's mom or whoever family is around. And Freya doesn't hiss at him. She's just like, why can't I eat the food that's outside? Because you have plenty of food inside. Plenty of food. So anybody out there that has kids that needs fine motor, or you're rehabilitating, or trying to get your strength back in your fingers and your hand and your arm, dotting, putting dots on a paper to form an image like Surratt is very useful for muscular growth in your hand and in your arm, your wrist. And when I'm saying that, it's something anybody could do, including a child. Look at my dots. Oh my gosh, like what did they act like? I never seen a drunk animal. And I'm gonna say this. I had a lot of drunk friends growing up that used to love drinking. I used to partake in some of that drinking as well, don't get me wrong. I am Irish, by the way. I used to be able in my little body drink 340s. I'm not proud of this, by the way. It's nothing to be proud of. 340s and then sake. Doesn't make sense, but I was able to drink all of that and walk a straight line. I am working on a portrait. Um, so yesterday I was supposed to have a meeting with the People for People, but they changed it and it's gonna be I have to like hyper step it up to get home tomorrow. Um, it's great. But getting home and rushing home yesterday and eating quickly on the fly made it really easy for me to get some work done. And a lot of those notes and more of that portrait done. And then the Blavatsky reading, which was like next level. And you don't have to agree with Blavatsky's work to get the expansion she is trying to portray in her work. Like someone in the comments, I don't know what video it was talking about like heterosexual and homosexual and the war between right and left. And I'm like, what, why are you feeding that reality? Why are you succumb to that program? Why are you feeding that narrative? Is there a real war against heterosexuals? If you're perceiving it, sure. We're all one. Stop hating on each other. Come together right now. I could, I think when my birth mother and I energetically entangled after her healing, after her passing, and I was in like the height of my alcohol like usage back when she was still alive. But I think after she passed in 2003, after I graduated college, and then a little after I ended my tattoo career, I shifted out of everything. So I woke up one day and craved none of it. Nothing. I did not want to pick anything up anymore. And I think that was my birth mother, like, you're not repeating my bullshit. Not my daughter. Not my daughter. I needed those experiences though, not gonna lie. If I didn't take the stuff that I did, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I could you have called me an addict? Maybe, but I didn't use anything definitely hard, what we consider hard. Wouldn't touch that with 10-foot poles. And I did everything in a irresponsibly in a responsible way, if that makes sense. I always made sure that everybody else going about doing their naughty stuff, that I was the one sober enough to take control of a situation. Um, there were some nights that most of my friends were close to poisoning, and I sobered up to make sure that I can pump their stomachs. Um, you know. And now if I occasionally have a cocktail, let's just say the year is ending, I might have had 12 cocktails in the entire year. That's not a lot. 12 in a whole year. Um, we all go through phases in our lives, and it doesn't need to involve any substances. It's more about building the experiences of what we prefer and what we don't prefer. And I trust me, I loved going out on the golf course and having a blast. I like going to abandoned places and getting shit faced or having experiences and just being a kid. Like, and not really doing anything to harm anybody else. The only thing that's hard for me to give up is the tobacco because it actually helps my pain. Like, and I only know that from some of the studies that I've read, but also like when I don't smoke, I feel worse. And it's not because of it could be chemical dependency, but I know I'm in more pain. And again, I'm not talking about the pain that I had 20 years ago. It's just the uncomfortable pain. Yeah, a lot of us like cigarettes. I used to smoke Marlboro 100s. Like, but I didn't need a carton for the week. A pack would last me at least 5 days. I wasn't a heavy smoker unless I was stressed or I was in a lot of pain. Um, and then and then once the vape stuff started happening, but this is like tobacco. It's not those vapes that everything smells like strawberry and Fruit Loops. It's not those. You know, that's life. I am though, just like a side note, because I'm like looking at my Facebook. I am glad though that a lot of people that had really positive experiences with James are speaking up. Um, this is a Gemini full moon. My moon is in Gemini. This Gemini full moon supports radical honesty with ourselves. It asks us to look clearly at the gap between who we've been and who are we becoming. Key word right there. This is also a deeply social moon. Gemini thrives on connection, conversation, and exchange of ideas. The insights you need might come through a casual conversation with a friend, a book that falls off the shelf, even a snippet of overhead dialogue. Stay alert and open to messages from the universe. They're everywhere, disguised as ordinary moments. Gemini invites us to question everything, to play with the possibilities, to remember that we always have the power to choose different perspective. Yes, my nose is itchy. Who's thinking about me? Whew, it's getting late, guys, for my standards. Listen, if I could chew like Jack, I would, but I got the teeth issues are not okay to do that. Yeah. If you're in Pennsylvania, goodness sakes. So this is a message from the universe. I like when people do this. The shifts showing up for you are aligning you energetically and vibrationally, not just to receive what you've been calling in, but to embody the version of you who can fully live in it. This isn't just about manifestation. This is preparation. Every breakthrough is shaping the frequency you need to hold what's already on its way. There are no coincidences. The universe knows exactly what it's doing, even if you can't see through the full picture yet. What's coming will upgrade your life so powerfully, you'll be left speechless in the best ways. Yeah, this nostril's itchy. But I'm also experiencing a lot of the dry air and I need my dehumidifier. That's for sure. So this is very much the message in layman's terms that I wrote the notes about. We have been, for every pain and suffering and loss of a friend or a relationship or a big chunk of people, we are being redefined and crystallized in a higher frequency, depending on what route you chose to think about it in. You got to be honest with yourself in terms of what can you believe you can obtain for yourself. I believe I can have a husband in my life that could entertain my art career, doing this and seeing me without expectations, reaching my own goals without having expectations of their own projected onto me. I can achieve that. I can achieve financial stability when I allow the opportunities or the universe orchestrates the people, places, and things that need to open the door that I can walk through. And wow, it's like somebody can email me tomorrow. Hey, I like what you're saying and doing. Do you want to join me on my podcast? And that blows me up somehow. Or, hey, I saw your artwork and I think you would be perfect fit in our gallery. And then I sell a piece for $1,000. And I sell another piece for $2,500. Like that's obtainable stuff. That's not something I don't believe that I can fulfill in my life. That's stuff I think I can and believe that I can align with. It's not, I'm not asking for a $10,000 piece of mine to sell. Right? I'm being practical with what I'm putting out there. I'm not being impractical. People do that and some people do emerge out of that wishful thinking. You got to be aligned and believe, feel it, that you can obtain it and start small. People always go for the grandest things first, and those are the harder things because you expect the delivery of them. You shouldn't expect nothing. I don't know what the guy's going to look like. I'm not even going to write, I want this type of man, like in terms of like looks. I'm not looking at the material. I'm looking at the soul. I want a good man that doesn't project onto me what they expect. That they're just going to go with the flow and allow me to just be me freely and support me and not watch me suffer from the sidelines. Not helping me in the ways that like people I've never met are helping. It's not like I'm sitting on my couch eating popcorn waiting for 47 to give me a check. There's one thing to be lazy, and there's one thing to keep pushing and pushing and doing and not stopping. I'm not stopping. I can achieve. So what can you achieve? And be honest with yourself. Do you got a book idea? Start writing. Do you believe that it can get published, or you can believe that you can put the work in to self-publish? Music. You never know who's going to listen to your stuff that's going to blow you up. Arnie's doing that now, and I think it's incredible. What do you do at home? I don't like, I know a lot of people like, well, I'm old and I already had my career, and I'm all like, you're here for a reason. What can you do to help yourself and humanity? Can you achieve it? Are you putting the energy out there? What are you doing? What steps? Let's go. If I can't kick you in the pants, I don't know what will. And I'm not doing it from an egotistical place or a place of because I care. I care. That's the biggest thing, is that I really do care about everybody's journey, and I do care, and I want everybody to prosper in their own way. I want people to be seen in their own way. There's not a lot of people want to be out in the public space, but you know what? You go to the grocery store, you go around, and you don't need to be big. You need to be big in your way. Every little seed that you implant in somebody is growing in the darkness. And one day it's going to sprout in the season that it's deserving to sprout in. What are you seeding? What are you trying to collapse? Make sure it's something that you can believe in and small and just to prove yourself. Me putting this out here today, and every time that I'm here, little things are starting to present themselves and showing me, hey, girl, stop, reflect, flow, and just keep going. Don't wait. Just keep going. Don't stop. Just keep pushing. Are you doing the same? There's many times that I told you guys I'm done. Done. But I was done with the old paradigm, the old self. I wasn't merged and forged yet into the new. And now it's here. I'm seeing signs of that. I'm waking up calm. I'm not grinding my teeth. I'm not waking up like, fuck, I woke up today. Why wasn't I dead? Right? There's some people that do that. That everything around me is collapsing and not working, and I'm calm through it. That's just showing you guys that I'm merging into a new timeline. I'm formulating it now. I'm refining myself and calibrating to it. Are you in the same pattern? Are you in a new paradigm right now? And you're like, what's me? Breathe, ground in different ways. Show up for yourself differently. I could have chose to beat the shit out of my car and have a fit outside and throw the shovel at it and kick it. It didn't. Yeah, I chose to just walk back in my house and go, okay, how can we solve this problem? It's not easy because it affects my everyday life. I have to worry about how am I going to get to the grocery store? How am I going to get the battery? And at the last part of my life, I'm not worried about that. It is what it is. It gets fixed when it gets fixed. if I can fix it. But in the meantime, I will figure it out. And if not, it doesn't get fixed. That's just a sign of life, right? But I'm calm about it. I'm not throwing the tantrum. I'm not getting angry. Like that stupid light ahead thing of I flipped out. It's like because the screw doesn't want to the component that you screw on it is warped. I finally got it. I needed that release. But don't stay there. Don't stay there. And I'm hoping that talking about this more and mulling through the different things that I am learning and I'm grasping and redefining with my own knowledge and my own knowing helps you guys on your journeys and helps you see the things and the signs and the significant things that need to be brought into your lives. My journey and doing this is hopefully going to show that eventually something better has to happen. It can only go up from here because I'm at my bottom. I've been at the bottom, but no, this is like complete collapse. Complete. And I'm hoping that those of you that are here that are cohering on my wavelength are going to stay and seek out the journey and do it with me. It's not just about me, it's about all of you. And that's what's important because we all have to do this together. It's not Allison did it. No, we're all doing it because we're all one. We lose that aspect. We're all one. And that's what I'm doing as well. Like, I'm trying not to worry. I mean, what you did for me today, you and the hubby, Ashmaya, was like, that literally made me cry. I saw the box. I didn't even see the receipts. I didn't know who sent me the box. And it was a big one from Amazon and I opened it and I'm seeing like tuna and cat food and soup. I was like, oh my God. The waterworks came out like authentic relief. Tears dripped off of me. And I felt, wow, I was not expecting that. And then I'm taking things out one by one and then like unpacking everything. And then I saw the Danish cookies. I have another button tin after I eat the cookies. And then it was underneath all the like the slips were underneath everything. So by the time I uncooked, I was like, oh my God, Danish cookies. And then I saw who it was from. I'm like, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That hit, I'm tearing up now. That hit here. It was a surprise. That was such a surprise. Like the way they pack everything in a box, like it's like Tetris. And like you just keep on, pulling more things out and like, thank you. That absolutely helps me out, like in bigger ways and wow. And I hope to the people that can't do it, it's like, trust me, it's nice to know that there are people out there that can do the smallest things for you that make a humongous impact. That and at the end of the day those are the things that like relinquish my negativity towards the world and like brings more positivity, because there are good people out there. There are people that care. Spirit asked me to, again, my biggest challenge in this lifetime was asking for help, because I had to grow up being the one that's always relied upon, that always had to figure it out and always had to do it. Right? Like I had to do my move myself. I had to do, all this stuff by myself my whole life. Not that I didn't have parents, and my parents didn't know what to do. I love them, mom and dad, but my dad couldn't put light bulbs in. My mom didn't know how to do half of the stuff my dad did. So I had to do a lot of things that I had to learn on the way. I've always been the survivor and self-reliance. And the hardest part is when I do ask for help for certain things, I don't get it. And then when I asked, Spirit said, hey, make a wish list. It doesn't hurt you or anybody. If someone picks something up, it's a blessing. That's all you can ask for. And be honest and transparent. Like, hey, like, I'm not working as much. I'm not getting paid as much. I cannot afford, the food is expensive. Food in general, cat food, exponentially. And I went with stuff that I know that is midway through. It's not garbage, and it's not like the best. It's midway through food. But tuna, tuna went up a lot. It's still one of the cheaper options, and it has a lot of water in it. That's why I give it to Little Thor, because he doesn't like the water. He's iffy with the water. And I changed where I used to put the water out next to the food, but now I'm putting it downstairs in his hut. And I'm changing that out every day, but like it's been so cold. The heating pad really isn't working. So I stuffed more straw in there, but until I get a new heating pad to put in there, the water freezes. So the tuna helps with the water absorption. It's crazy. It's crazy, but I am very thankful for each and every one of you who continuously shows up for me. I hope that what I'm bringing to the table, this quantum stuff and like really unleashing it, because a lot of other people are doing it, but they're not necessarily explaining it that well. I'm excited because literally I have just a little bit of litter left. A little bit. I still have enough. Um, the dry food, the dry food was done. I have they're getting low. And I don't get those big 20-pound bags of food because it just sits there. Like I like the little bags because they fill up a container and then I just dispense it. But since in the winter, I do get a little more of the creatures that eat Little Thor's food, and I'm going through a lot of dry food. The wet food I'm giving Freya once a day and Little Thor once a day. So those do last, but I don't get a full paycheck until maybe March. So the next few months are going to be really rough for me. So it's why I asked, because that's stuff I'm going to save and it's going to go through. I'm going to go through it. So I do thank everybody for helping me. And I'm happy this journey is not being done alone. Where I thought I was the hermit in the cave, I have visitors and I have you guys. So I'm really appreciative to each and every one of you. I'm going to end it here. I did the little drawing. We're going to get there. I wanted to craft but I'm still like, I don't know what I want to do. I got to go through my crafting supplies. And I know Ash Maya gave me a whole bunch of stuff. I have to go through to see what I can do. I want that cat with the mustache. I think that's the cutest cat. Freya is adorable, don't get me wrong. Odin was adorable. This one with the mustache is so cute. But I'm gonna leave it here. I do have work in the morning. I have a walk and a work and a walk and a meeting I have to try to make. So I have to get my energy back to best and hope that the kids are not coming in sick because I am taking a lot of supplements right now on top of that because green boogers and the perpetual nose flow is happening in my room. So sending each and every one of you love, light, compassion, grace, shielding, and protective energy. Please go within. Be the shoulders. Be the lighthouses. Sprinkle and seed your truths. Light that path forward. I'm going to leave the Amazon link underneath the description for anybody after the video or after this live wants to contribute. Again, it's just a wish list. You can purchase me anything. I do appreciate the help. It's much needed. I'm not asking for food for myself. It's just for the animals. I will figure myself out. Have a blessed and beautiful night, guys. Please ground and stay centered and do the final work on yourself to merge into your new reality. And until Friday Night Live, I hope all of you have a blessed and beautiful night wherever you are in the world. And breathe.